Audio Jungle.
This QTV news platform, we cannot falter. IGP rallies police commanders to lead with integrity. The Inspector General of Police, Dr. Kayode Egbetokun, has charged senior officers of the Nigeria Police Force to rise above routine enforcement and embody the values of integrity, accountability, and leadership in safeguarding the nation. Speaking at the September edition of the Strategic Police Officers Conference in Abuja, the IGP reminded commanders that the force remains under constant public scrutiny and must never falter in its duty.
The gathering reveals progress in the nationwide clampdown on criminality. Since July, the force has recorded significant breakthroughs with over 4,383 suspects arrested, including 481 armed robbers, 260 kidnappers, and 371 murder suspects. Police also recovered 716 firearms, 21,000 rounds of ammunition, and 212 stolen vehicles, while rescuing 1,138 kidnapped victims. State speaking, Egbetokun highlighted landmark operations from dismantling IPOP ESN camps in the southeast to foiling adoptions in Abeokuta and the arrest of 333 electoral offenders in Kano during the August by-elections.
In each of these cases, success was not accidental. It was the result of initiative, preparation, and tactical confidence. Across Imo and Anambra states, IPOP/ECNN strongholds were dismantled, leading to the recovery of assault weapons, explosives, and operational vehicles. In the southwest, multiple kidnap syndicates were neutralized, particularly in Oyo, Ogun, and Ondo states, with suspects arrested, ransom money recovered, and victims rescued. In particular, in Abeokuta, operatives successfully foiled a kidnapping attempt and secured 5 hostages without loss of life. These are not isolated wins. They are part of a growing pattern of coordinated response, interagency synergy, and real-time community intelligence.
Speaking ahead of the Ember Month, the IGP has now directed zonal AIGs, commissioners, and tactical units to intensify patrols on highways, federal roads, and forest corridors, while deepening community engagement to stay steps ahead of criminals.
Firm in correcting excesses. Where there are complaints of abuse, respond. Where there are cases of misconduct, act. What you tolerate becomes your culture, and what you ignore eventually defines your legacy. As we approach the final quarter of the year, there is no room for complacency. The so-called Ember Months have historically seen spikes in robbery, kidnapping, ritual killings, and highway banditry. I am mandating the following. Zonal AIGs must activate multi-layered feasibility policing frameworks. CPs must monitor and respond to threats beyond urban centers. Tactical teams should patrol not just highways, but feeder routes and forest corridors. Community engagement must be intensified, not just in volume, but in sincerity. Let every command return from this conference with an operational calendar for October to December. I expect to review these frameworks personally.
Egbetokun further warned officers against meddling in civil disputes, particularly land matters, vowing to sanction any personnel who abuse police authority.
We sit at the helm of a force whose relevance is constantly tested, whose every action is scrutinized, and whose leadership must never be found wanting. The nation looks to this room, not for promises, but for vision, strategy, and execution. What ultimately defines our tenure is not the number of suspects we parade, but the institutional culture we shape, the standards we enforce, and the confidence we restore in the uniform we wear.
The September conference emphasized the importance of integrity, vigilance, and community trust in measuring true service to the nation. This is Okushi, QTV News.
Audio Jungle.